So this building right here is unquestionably the Synagogue of Capernaum. You've got accounts in both John and Luke, for instance, where Jesus teaches in the synagogue at Capernaum. For those scriptures, there's really just no question they took place here. Now, there are a couple little caveats, things we have to sort of admit, which is that later, after the life of Christ, maybe a century later, they came in and they decided they didn't like the black stone. So the land of Israel is almost completely limestone. There are a few places that are a little bit of an exception, and here on the Galilee is one of them. You get a lot of basalt up here. And so the original construction in the time of Jesus was the black stone down beneath. They came in about 100 years later and they're like, we don't like that. We want it to be pretty white. So they replaced it with limestone. So same place, same building, but renovated, if you want to say new, built on the same place, or if you want to say renovated, but this is the place. There's absolutely no question historically. What you can tell is it's not laid out like if we're having a religious gathering in a Western church, everything is sort of seats here facing the front. That's not how it was done. The speaker was out in the middle and the seats wrapped around. You can actually see the remnants of the seats built into the wall. There would have been people, inside as well. So if Jesus was here speaking like on a typical Shabbat or a Saturday, then he would have been somewhere right out here with the people gathered around. That's kind of how it worked, sort of a theater in the round kind of thing. So all those dramas, like the demonized boy, that Jesus threw the demon out of in this synagogue, all that drama would have played out like right here in this space. So that's pretty cool, I think. This is one of the coolest archaeological finds in the whole country. We know that during Jesus's ministry years, that Peter also had a home here in the village. We know that because it's recounted the story in Luke where Jesus heals his mother-in-law, right? It actually says in that story that Jesus left the synagogue, which is right over there, and came to Peter's house. Now, how could you possibly ever identify the house of a regular person from 2,000 years ago? That doesn't even seem possible. But something interesting happened. So what happened was, we have an ancient document that states that over the top of Peter's house, a church was built, which was octagonal, the shape of a stop sign. And when they started doing the excavations down here, what did they find? They found something that confirmed the document. They found old square foundations and superimposed on top of those octagonal building. And then you can also see that building was built at one point, it was smaller, and it was expanded and made larger later in history. The archaeologists tell us that, they feel like, 90+% certainty that this is the building described. A general rule for any sort of biblical archaeology is that virtually any octagonal building is going to be a church. Okay, if you see an 8-sided building, it's almost universally a Byzantine church. But the archaeologists feel very, very confident that this is Peter's house. And I think so. It fits this narrative, it fits the story, and it fits the documents. So, I feel very confident when we talk about the story of, Jesus leaving the synagogue and coming to Peter's house, that we can really look at this space and say Jesus was right over there and he walked right over here. And then things happen. And actually, I would like to really unpack that story. That's what we're going to do next. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, click like and subscribe. It really helps us. And if you really enjoyed it, go on over to our website, thelandofthebible.com, and become a supporter. It helps us generate more content and gives you access to our full library of video and Bible study content.